The 50-30-20 rule says needs get 50% of your paycheck. Wants get 30, savings get 20. But that rule has a hidden assumption. It assumes your needs never actually cost more than half your paycheck. For a huge number of renters right now, that assumption is already false. Here's the classic 50-30-20 split. Half for needs like rent and bills, 30% for wants, 20% locked away as savings. Now, here's the real number. In a lot of cities, rent alone eats 60, sometimes 70% of take-home pay before a single bill gets added. Force the 50-30-20 rule onto that reality, and the math breaks. Wants shrinks to nothing. Savings goes negative. The rule simply stops working. So what do you actually do when your rent alone breaks the 50-30-20 rule completely? There's a real fix for this, and it's simpler than starting completely from zero. Here's the fix, and it has a name. Call it the sliding split. You stop forcing your needs number to stay stuck at 50% and let it slide to match your real life. Step 1. Add up your real fixed costs, whatever they actually are. Rent, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments. That's your real needs number. Step 2. Whatever's left after that gets split the same way the original rule intended, just scaled down. 60% wants, 40% savings. Why this works? The ratio between wants and savings stays exactly the same as the original rule. Only the size of the needs slice changes. Let's run real numbers. Take-home pay, $3,000 a month. Real fixed costs, including rent, $1,900. That's 63%, not 50. Subtract that $1,900 and $1,100 is what's actually left over. That's the real amount that gets split between wants and savings. Split it 60-40, $660 for wants, $440 for savings. Every dollar accounted for, nothing forced. Compare that to forcing the original 50-30-20 rule. It would demand $600 in savings from money that doesn't exist. But there's one more piece most people miss. Here's the piece almost nobody talks about. What happens when needs don't just break 50%, but climb past 70, even 80% of the check? At that point, the sliding split needs one more rule: a savings floor. Never let savings drop below 5%, no matter how tight things get. Why the floor matters: even a small percentage, saved every single month without fail, builds a habit that a bigger income can scale up later. Same $3,000 paycheck, but fixed costs climb to $2,200, 73%. $800 remains, and the floor protects at least $150 of it. That $150 a month doesn't feel like much. But it turns "I can't save because rent is too high" into "I'm still building something." Compare that to the alternative most people default to: giving up on saving completely the moment rent gets expensive. That's the real trap, not the math. The sliding split was never about hitting some perfect percentage on paper. It's about never letting your actual savings number hit zero, no matter what your rent decides to do. Now let's actually see what $150 a month, protected without fail every single month, adds up to over the course of one real year. $150 a month times 12 is $1,800 a year, from a paycheck where the original rule said saving was impossible. Real quick, before we wrap this up, if a rule that survives even a genuinely brutal rent number is worth something to you, the like button really helps this channel. So here's the whole method again, in 10 seconds before your homework. Add up your real fixed costs. Split what's left 60-40 between wants and savings. And never let the savings floor drop below 5%. Your homework: calculate your real needs percentage this week. If it's over 50, the sliding split is already the 50-30-20 rule you're actually living by. And if you want the method that makes saving automatic even on a paycheck that changes size every week, the video on your screen covers exactly that. Comment your real needs percentage below. I read every single one. New money method every week. I'm Charlie. This is Charlie's Money.